Yo, what is good guys? Welcome back to another video where we will be looking at the match day or Champions League matches. We will speak about them and go on to predict them as well. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Let's start with Dortmund versus Newcastle. Now, starting with the pretty big game, so let's start with Dortmund. They've been pretty good. They beat Newcastle 1-0 last week. Very good team defensively, in my opinion. Was a huge win for them. And on to Newcastle. They've been doing okay, I guess. Tonali has been banned for 10 months and we're gonna be missing Isak as well due to his injury, and I see this game kind of ending in a 2-1 win for Dortmund. Now we move on to Shakhtar Donetsk versus Barcelona. A good matchup, to be fair, so let's start with Shakhtar. Pretty underrated team. I feel like they always are producing some great players at that club, and they gave Barca a pretty good match last time. Onto Barca, a really good team. They beat Shakhtar 2-1 last week, and I mean, Xavi has done a very good job at the club, in my opinion, and my prediction is going to be a 2-0 win for Barcelona. Now we move on to Lazio versus Feyenoord. Looking forward to this game. So let's start with Lazio. I would say they are a underrated side. They need to win this one though, as they are sat in third place in the group. Onto Feyenoord, I mean, I really rate this side. Jimenez is absolutely balling, that striker up top. And top of the group, I mean, what a side. My prediction is going to be a 2-0 win for Feyenoord. Now we move on to Porto versus Antwerp. Porto should win this game, in my opinion, but let's start with Porto. A team that's doing well. Ivan Nilsson, I mean, the first player with a hat-trick this season in the Champions League. A team to look for, like, dangerous team to look for, probably. And on to Antwerp, not looking good for them. They conceded 12 goals in 3 games. That is crazy. Bottom of the group as well, and my prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Porto. Now we move on to Manchester City versus Young Boys. This should be a cruise for Man City. Let's start with City. Haaland, I mean, what can I say? He just keeps on scoring. Not only it happens, like, he's been scoring some pretty good shots around the edge of the box. And they are the current treble winners, or reigning winners, onto Young Boys. Still without a win. They lost to Man City last week. Could be a rough one for them, this matchup. But I see Manchester City winning 3-0. Now we move on to AC Milan versus PSG. A huge game it will be, so let's start with Milan. They were not good in the last game. They actually got thumped 3-0 by PSG, and this match they gotta up the performance a bit. And on to PSG, a pretty good team, to be fair. They played a great game against AC Milan, and Lee is a player that was class for them. I really like the way he dribbles, like, really good player. And my prediction is gonna be a 2-1 win for AC Milan. Now we move on to Atletico Madrid versus Celtic. A good matchup for sure. So let's start with Atletico Madrid. We all know Griezmann has been balling for that club, and Simeone seemed mad after the game, to be fair. He didn't want to take what was his name, Brendan Rodgers's, and Paul got a red card, so he is out for this current game that we're talking about. Onto Celtic, a struggling side without a win as well. Not looking good for them, as they are on 1 point. And my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Atletico Madrid. Now we move on to Red Star versus Leipzig, a not bad match. So let's start with Red Star. They were doing not too good in the last game, but no wins in the group stage. They only have 1 point in the group. Onto Leipzig, I mean, what a team, playing so well. Xavi Simons with a banger, absolute strike, amazing. I really like this team, to be fair, and I see them winning 3-0. Now we move on to Real Sociedad versus Benfica, a very good game for sure. So let's start with Real Sociedad. This is a underrated team. Really are doing well, top of their group with Inter. Onto Benfica, doing pretty bad, if we're being pretty honest. Lost a lot of key players these past few windows. And bottom of the group, what can we say? I see this game going Sociedad's way, and they will win 3-1. Now we move on to Napoli versus Union Berlin. Should be a pretty good game. Let's start with Napoli. They have a dangerous player in Osimhen in the group, and I would say they are a bit less dangerous than last year. On to Union Berlin, struggling hard in the Champions League, 3 losses, and they're bottom of the table. Gonna be a rough game for Union Berlin. I mean, my prediction is gonna be a 3-1 win for Napoli. Now we move on to Copenhagen versus Manchester United. This will be another good game, I would say. So let's start with Copenhagen. It's looking pretty bad for them. Struggling in the Champions League, and they are bottom of the group as well. On to Manchester United. They are in a bit of a rut. Won against Copenhagen last game 1-0. Maguire managed to score the winner, proving the haters wrong. Now my prediction is gonna be a 2-1 win for Manchester United. Now we have Salzburg versus Inter. This could be a underrated game for sure. So let's start with Salzburg, and this team produces talent. Like, I swear every year you see a talented player pop up from this team, and a not bad team to be fair. Gonna be a rough game for them versus the runners-up from last year. To enter a pretty good team, if we are being fair. They lost Lukaku, and he is actually balling at Roma. And as I said before, they were the runners-up. They lost to Man City. They're looking like a pretty good team again, in my opinion. And I see this game going Inter's way, and they will win 3-1. Now we move on to Bayern versus Galatasaray. A very good game that I'm excited for. Bayern, they have been pretty good, I would say. Kane is balling at the club. Musiala is a player I rate so much. I mean, the dribbling he does is incredible. He goes around like 4 or 5 guys. Incredible. On to Galatasaray. This team is pretty underrated. Got a dangerous attack, and they played great football in the last match. A lot of people said they deserved the win, and I mean, they did, but Bayern got their chances and finished them. So I see Bayern winning this game 3-2. Now we move on to Arsenal versus Sevilla. On two great, so let's start with Arsenal, a great footballing team at the moment. They did get knocked out of the EFL Cup by West Ham. They actually lost like 3-1. Jesus is out for around a month, which is a huge blow for us. On to Sevilla, pretty underrated team. Europa League winners from last season, and should be a interesting game. And I see Arsenal winning this game 3-1. Now we have PSV versus Lens, another game to look forward to. So let's start with PSV. A pretty good squad, but they are struggling in the group stages. They have a chance of getting knocked out as well. Onto Lens, I rate this team. They played Arsenal, played really well against them actually. Some good football is played by them, and I honestly see Lens winning this game 2-1. Now we move on to Real Madrid versus Braga, another game that could surprise us. So let's start with Real Madrid. They are a great team, always do fairly well in the Champions League every year. And Bellingham, I mean, how can you not talk about this guy? He's probably the best player in the world at the moment. Like, incredible. On to Braga, doing not too bad so far. They actually lost to Real Madrid 2-1 last week. So I see Braga kind of putting up a fight in this game, and I actually see this game ending as a 2-2 draw. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Don't forget to drop a like, comment down below your predictions, and don't forget to subscribe as well, as it really helps me grow this channel. And hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.